It's the Taste of Stittsville, and it's going to be happening on Sunday. We're looking forward to this in a big way. John vanDyk is with us right now. He is a Brew Master with the Covered Bridge Brewing Company. Nice to see you here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pretty cool title to be a Brew Master.
Yeah. Brewer slash janitor slash delivery boy sometimes. So.
You do whatever it takes, right?
Exactly.
Tell us about the Covered Bridge Brewing. How long have you been around for at this point?
I've been around for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
So we are based in Statesville on Ivor Road, and we've been working hard out there trying to make great beer for people around Ottawa, basically.
Okay.
But
so what's it like to be a brewery out in Stittsville? Does that bring some challenges along with it, or is it nice to be a little further outside of the city?
A little of both, actually. It's challenging because in Stittsville itself, we find that it's a bit of a bedroom community, so people don't necessarily know about all the great little hidden gems that we have out there. But it's also nice because it is a great community to be out and working in. So we don't have to put up with so much of the hustle and bustle of downtown Ottawa.
That's good some days. And that's why the Taste of Stittsville happens out in Stittsville, obviously. 4th year for this?
It's our 2nd year, actually.
2nd year?
Yeah. So we've been thinking about doing it. We thought about it a couple years ago. We're having a bit of trouble finding a place to do it, and then finally last year we said, you know what, we can't find a great place, we're just going to do it at the brewery. So we've extended our license, we've turned it into a bit of a parking lot party, and we invited some of the local merchants to come out and show their stuff.
That sounds super fun. Now it's only for a handful of hours, though. We've only got 4 hours for this event on noon, starting at noon on Sunday. What is the main reason behind this event?
For us, it really was because in Stittsville we hear a lot from people, oh, we didn't realize you were here, and I think people just don't realize all the great stuff that we have out there. So we have great food trucks, we have great restaurants out there, and of course we have our own brewery in Stittsville. Yeah. So we wanted to make sure that people in Stittsville knew about all the great stuff right in their backyard.
Okay, so are we primarily supporting local business at this event?
Absolutely. Okay. So we've got us with the beer, we've got Bonita Cantina, which is an excellent food truck out there. Kung Fu Bistro is one of the restaurants out in Stittsville. We've got the Grounds Cafe, which is a coffee shop just down the road from us, and they use relatively local roasted coffee from Equator Roasting out in Almont. We also use some of their coffee in a couple of our beers. Yeah. And then for people that don't really like beer, which is odd to me, but I know it happens. We've also got Jabulani Winery, which is just down the road. Technically, I believe they're Richmond, but we've adopted them for this event so that we can have wine there as well.
Jabulani, I like that. Sounds like a Star Wars character.
They make great wine.
All right. And you were actually going to be, are you going to be making one for us here? Actually, a beer cocktail?
Yeah. So
I've never quite heard of a beer cocktail before.
Yeah, we have a lot of beer, so we tend to experiment a bit. We, like I said, we've added coffee to some of our beers to try and make them a little different. And lately we've been sort of trying to do a bit more with beer cocktails. So one of the things that we're going to have, normally we have a beer in the LCBO called the Lumber Sexual, which is our session IPA. And
it's quite the name for a beer.
Yes, it works great for the marketing, actually. A lot of people pick it up because of the name. So,
okay, yeah.
So that one we don't normally have at the brewery because all of it tends to go out to the LCBOs and the grocery stores, but this weekend we've held back a keg that we're going to be serving at the brewery, and we're actually going to be serving it as a cocktail. Okay. So if you'd like, I can just show you what we're doing here.
Yeah, sure. How do you put together a beer cocktail?
It's actually pretty simple. So we take the lumber. We do about 2/3 of a glass of lumber, and then we take a bit of San Pellegrino. We use the lemon one in this. We've experimented with a bit of lemon, a bit of orange. We just found that the lemon works really nicely with this beer. So then we add the lemon to it. Okay. And basically it's a Radler. So it's part juice, part beer. It's really nice and refreshing, light, easy for the summer. This beer is already a fairly low alcohol beer, so it's adding the San Pellegrino to it actually makes it that much lower in alcohol, so people can have a few and sit out, and it's really nice in the warm weather. Hopefully we get warm weather. Hopefully for the long weekend, right? Now you're saying that you've only put a keg aside of the lumber sexual. Yes. So what if that goes pretty? Because I imagine that's probably going to go pretty quickly. Well, it could, but I mean we've got get there early, right? Yeah, and we've got we'll be pouring 9 other beers this weekend. So, I mean, there's always a lot of selection. We've got our raspberry wheat, which is called the Raspberry Princess, and we also do a cocktail with that one as well. So we use this sour mix from Split Tree, which is another local Ottawa company. We add a bit of that to our Raspberry Princess. We add a bit of lime juice, and we call that one Pucker Up, and it's actually really nice and refreshing as well. So we've got our Chai Spice Brown Ale, which is an English brown ale with chai spices. We add...
That's unique.
It is. It's very... it's a cool beer, actually. It's very unbeery.
Yeah.
It's more about the spices. That one's normally a winter beer for us, but we get a lot of demand for it in the summer, so we decided to do a batch this summer, and we add ginger ale to that. We mix it about 50-50 with ginger ale, and that actually really gives it a nice zip and spread your beer out a little further in the summer as well.
That's great. And it's also important as a community to come together, not only to support local businesses, but to get to know the people that are in your community as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we've got a lot of great regulars that come into the brewery. You know, last year at our event, we had one couple that's been coming to the brewery for quite a while, and they basically came, they sat down, they spent the entire day there chatting with people and meeting other people. We didn't have the greatest seats last year for people, so this year we had some Muskoka chairs that needed to be refinished, so they actually took them and refinished them for us, so we're going to be saving those chairs for them, so they'll be nice and comfortable this year when they come out to the event.
Is there any admission price to this?
No admission. Come on down. We don't charge people to come. We don't charge any of the vendors to be there. We just want to really expose the businesses and the people to each other there. We are obviously charging for the drinks, and the food vendors will be charging for their food, but I think the prices are actually pretty good for what it is, and I think we're going to have live music there as well. Good. We'll have a kids corner with some activities for kids. So for those who don't know Stittsville very well, maybe give us like a landmark of exactly where you're located. So we're on Iber Road, which is basically, if you know the Canadian Tire Centre, on the west side of the Canadian Tire Centre is Huntmar, and it actually turns into Iber Road once it passes Hazeldean. See. So we're just halfway down there. So yeah, we're just south of the Canadian Tire Centre. We always tell people look for the Total Battery sign because we're in the same building, but they have a much bigger sign than us. That's awesome. John vanDyk, Brew Master, Covered Bridge Brewing. You've got a Taste of Stittsville happening this Sunday. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for having me. Always good times rolling into a long weekend. You know it right here in the nation's capital and beyond. Coming up, details on the upcoming Fiber Fest. We'll have those for you in moments right here on Daytime.